What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian Mello with Marty's Buick GMC and Chevrolet, and in today's video I finally get a chance to show you all my 2022 GMC Hummer EV. So let's get into it. All right, now before we get right into the walk around of the new 2022 Hummer EV, I just want to let everyone know that I am well aware that this is probably going to be the most controversial vehicle that I ever have on the channel, because of course it is an EV, and people either love them or they hate them. Everything gets political, it gets all crazy in the comments section. For me, I care about one thing, I guess two things. I care about trucks, and I care about the performance of the trucks. And this thing is absolutely insane. Now, I actually reserved this truck almost 2 years ago. I believe it was October 21st of 2020 when I put the reservation in, and somehow I managed to be one of the lucky ones that landed an Edition 1. Now, when this thing came off the truck about 2 weeks ago, I'll be honest, I still had really no intention on keeping this thing. I thought, it's an EV, I'm not really gonna like it all that much. I still really, if I'm honest, didn't have any interest in owning an EV. The truck that I'm driving and have been driving, and I still have, is a 17 Sierra lifted on FabTech race suspension. In 2021, I sold my built Camaro, and on weekends, I'm at the racetrack or I'm driving around in other modified vehicles or trucks, just drinking all the dinosaur juice that we can possibly get our hands on. So, as far as being some earthy, crunchy, save the environment, want to go EV guy, I couldn't be any further from that. However, when GM designed the Hummer EV, they designed it for people like me. They wanted people who had no interest in EVs to maybe, just maybe, get behind the wheel of one and think, hey, maybe they aren't so bad. And I'll tell you that after my first test drive 2 weeks ago when this thing came off the truck, some of you might have seen I uploaded a YouTube short of us taking it off the truck. One test drive and I was sold. This thing is unbelievable. The performance is insane. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say charging infrastructure and save the world and it's bad for the environment. I care about performance. Everything else is kind of just noise. As far as charging, my experience, it has been as easy as can be. On a level 2 charger, which GM sent me when I got the truck, plugged in overnight, I get about 180 miles of range. Now, for some people, maybe that doesn't work. For me, my commute's 30 miles round trip. Plugging it in every night, getting about 180 miles, so that's like, what, 12, almost 1,300 miles every single week, or something like 64,000 miles a year. I'm not gonna drive anywhere near that, so it's absolutely a non-issue. However, if I do get stranded somewhere or I'm stuck anywhere locally, I have a level 3 fast charger right in town. I also have level 3 chargers being installed at the dealership and level 2 charge. So the charging thing, I understand might be a problem for some, but it has been a non-issue for me. It's been super, super easy. In fact, I thought it was gonna be a lot worse than it was. So good news there. That's just my experience. I know the fast lane truck guys, they posted up a video showing it took 4 days to charge if you plugged it into the wall with a regular wall outlet. And yeah, sure, that's from zero, which no one is ever really gonna get to because they charge it every night in their garage. And that's with a wall outlet that also no one is ever gonna do. If you are looking to charge with a wall outlet, don't buy an EV. That's just my opinion. Other things to note, and I'll be the first to admit, towing. If you're gonna tow a lot, they say it'll tow 7,000 pounds. I'm sure it'll do it, but I'm sure the range will go down to next to nothing. It's definitely something that they're gonna have to work on. And until they figure out the range situation with towing, diesel pickups or people that do a lot of towing, they're never gonna be able to replace their vehicle, in my opinion, with an EV. However, if you are someone who just loves performance trucks, then there is just no way if you drive this thing that you're not going to absolutely love it. It's better than the TRX, it's better than the Raptor, it's faster than all of them, it's an absolute rocket ship, and I can't express how much fun I've had with this thing in just my short 2 weeks of owning it. It's phenomenal. If you're into trucks and you can get your hands on one of these and actually take one for a spin, do it, and then talk to me about whether or not you hate it or think it sucks. Now, will there be some electrical gremlins? It's a brand new vehicle. I think there's still less than 1,000 of these on the road. I fully expect some weird stuff to happen. I'm cool with it. It tends to happen when you buy a brand new vehicle that hasn't been around and been tested. So once again, something that I am fully anticipating, and I have the benefit of working for the dealer. So I can just leave it at the service department in the morning and no harm, no foul. But with all that said, I'm happy to talk to you guys in the comments if you want to, ask some real questions about my experience so far. But let me take you for a quick walk around the exterior of this truck. So first things first, we've got that big LED light bar that runs the full length of the front that says Hummer EV. I think everyone's probably seen photos or videos of this thing by now. It is absolutely beautiful in person. It is not a headlight. It's just like the signature lighting, like the C-notched in the Sierra or the Silverado. The actual headlights are probably what you're seeing blinking down low in that high approach front bumper. Of course, they're not actually blinking. It's just the way the camera picks them up. LEDs actually flicker, for those that don't know, at a very high rate of speed. Human eye doesn't pick it up, but cameras like the one that I'm using here certainly do. Now, if we get up and take a closer look, you will see we've got our front parking sensors. You can see those right there in the bumper. You'll also notice a front camera there. We've got these big heavy-duty D-rings or recovery rings, and then we've got the skid plate down low as well. Now, it is a GMC, and they did manage to put, a GMC logo here, but there are only 2 GMC logos on the entire truck, at least that I saw, the one on the front and the one on the back. So it says Hummer everywhere, and kind of GMC is sort of like an afterthought, which I get. Now, as we were on the side of the truck, you might notice that I do not have the black and machined wheels on this thing. I actually swapped them out for the Tech Bronze wheels. I wanted to match the interior. I actually also did the Tech Bronze logos, but those are back ordered. Don't ask me how they're back ordered. I'm sure just more parts supply problems. But I just love this look a lot more. Of course, they're wrapped in 35-inch tires, but this truck can fit 37-inch tires factory, which is pretty crazy. And let me see on the other side real quick. I might just have a little bit better light to show you the wheels. Yeah, it's about the same, but so there's a look at the Tech Bronze wheels. I've only seen a few of these with the Tech Bronze, and I'm glad I went ahead and did that. Other things that I added were the pod lights up top, and these actually wire right into the system, which is cool. So there's the LED pod lights. So there's no auxiliary switches that you have to wire in. It all builds right into the system, which is kind of cool. And I'm going to step back and give you guys a side profile view of the truck. You can see, obviously, I've got the front sky panels removed. The topless experience is really cool in this. Everything's better topless, right? Now, this is in the normal ride height mode. If you go into watts to freedom, which is basically launch control, the truck will lower itself 4 inches. It's also like the entry or exit mode. Just lowers to the ground for better aerodynamics, and the thing takes off 0 to 60. It's 1,000 horsepower, up to 11,400 foot-pounds of torque, as I believe what GM says. 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds, spinning all 4 tires. It's bananas. Definitely something that you want to experience. Sticks you right into the seat. Super, super cool. The performance, like I said, is just unbelievable in this thing, especially with that low center of gravity, because your batteries are in the battery pack down low. Now, if you put this thing in terrain mode and you're doing some heavier off-roading, you can actually lift the suspension and get up to 16 inches of ground clearance, and then you've got 13 inches of suspension travel. So when it comes to off-road capability, I mean, it checks off most of the boxes. And I have to say, the 4-wheel steering is incredible. I do think the crab walk's a little bit gimmicky, but the 4-wheel steering is awesome. It's actually got a better turning radius than a Honda Civic Si, believe it or not. So parking this thing, even in parking garages, super, super easy. Now, of course, in the back, we've got the multi-pro tailgate. We've got a rear backup camera. We've got more big black D-ring recovery points. Trailer tow package is all set up. Once again, if you're going to be someone that does a lot of towing, EV's probably not the way to go right now until at least they kind of sort out all the EV range issues once you start towing a load around. Rear backup sensors, and I did add, if I drop this down, the multi-pro kicker audio system. And I'll be honest, it's kind of neat. It connects Bluetooth to your phone, obviously, and it automatically connects. So when you open up the tailgate and drop this section down, you don't have to do anything. It'll automatically start playing your audio. It's not super, super loud, but it's kind of cool if you're out with a group of people and you want some music and you don't want to have to carry around another speaker, but don't be blown away by it. It's just kind of a cool little feature to have. Obviously, factory spray and bed liner. We've got LED interior lighting, plenty of tie-down hooks. We've got a full outlet back here, so charging things up should be no issue, or, maybe you need more speakers so you can plug in right there. This little guy right here that you're probably wondering what the hell that is a drain for the power tonneau cover. So we've got our buttons right here. Slides open nice and easy. I've heard a lot of people having issues with the sensors kind of not adjusting right, and then the system will kind of stall, but so far for me, it's worked out just fine. And then you've got those drains in every corner so that if water is sitting on the top, it can actually drain down underneath the truck instead of kind of sitting on the top of it. But it sits super, super flush. Definitely pretty durable. Love the look, huge fan. Definitely the nicest tonneau cover I've ever had on any truck. And here's a look. I'm just going to hit the button so you guys can see what the taillight looks like. The one thing I'm sad is, and I guess I'm not really that sad about it, but this little center section, in a lot of the initial videos that I saw, this was actually an LED strip as well. I don't know why they decided to go ahead and nix that, but I'm gonna go ahead and shut that, and then I'm gonna step back here. And yes, I know I'm still on dealer plates. I'm trying to get vanity plates, haven't decided what it's gonna be, but they are 14 weeks behind, which is just kind of crazy. Just another side profile. All right, now let me show you guys really quickly in the back. It's pretty much business as usual back here. Here's a look at your door. It's got the little grab handles. Once again, you see it's got that tech bronze to match the wheels. That's why I wanted to go with the tech bronze. In fact, you might get a little bit of sunlight now. Give you a better idea on how that wheel and tire combo looks. Let me know what you guys think. You like this better than the black or silver? I'm sure some people like the black better, but hey, you know what? We're not all the same. You've got the storage compartments on the back of both seats. Of course, you've got your armrest that doubles as a cup holder. The white interior I was a little afraid of, but it's not leather. It's like a vinyl. I've gotten a little bit messy already. Took it to the beach, and it washes off really, really easy, so that was kind of nice. Something that I was very, very concerned with. Turns out to be not a problem really at all. Seats are obviously heated back here. You get your rear climate controls. There's your vents. You've got a power outlet down low. Little place to store. You can throw phones here. Pockets on the back of both seats. I will throw the window sticker up here in just a second as well for those who are interested in seeing that. In fact, let's go ahead and throw the window sticker up right now. I'll give you guys a second. If you want to take a quick screenshot of it, go ahead. If you want to save it, give you another second. 3, 2, 1, and all right. Window sticker gone. Now, I'll give you a quick look at the mirror before I go inside. There's just so much to this truck. Like I said, I'm definitely going to have to make multiple videos going over everything because even I'm still learning. I'm gonna back up. There's a look at your driver's door. See the Hummer EV, the bronze. I'm gonna fire it up just so we don't have to listen to that buzzing. I do love down here, so you have the Sea of Tranquility over the speaker grill, and then this is actually Neil Armstrong's boot print. Yeah. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through this relatively quickly. I absolutely need to make a second video going over all the tech in here because there's just so much to talk about. But I will start over here on the left now, work my way to the right, and if I miss anything or you have any questions, please feel free to ask below, and I will be happy to answer those as best as I can. So we've got our power locks, our memory seats, our power windows, our power mirror controls. We've got a grab handle here. We've got another grab handle up here, which is nice, especially if you're going to be taking this thing off-road. You'll notice that everything's kind of an H shape, like this vent right here. Underneath, we've got our e-brake, sorry. We've got our front release. We've got the multi-pro tailgate. We've got our, we can drop all the windows, lane departure warning, spotlight over the bed, power outlets, and then the increase or decrease the gauge cluster brightness is right here. Up on the steering wheel, we've got our Super Cruise, forward collision alert, our regular cruise control settings. Over on the right side of the steering wheel, we've got our voice assistant, and then this toggle, just like on the pickups, you can go through all kinds of like different information here on your screen. You can change the displays to whatever you want, all kinds of different information. Business kind of as usual there, but there's tons of different customizational options, like display layout. I could go to just like clean. You'll see it'll change the entire layout. Go to lunar. I've been leaving it kind of an off-road. So there's the lunar look. I'll just leave that in there for now. And you can still have some off-road information over there on the right side of the display, which is nice. There is no heads-up display in this, and that's because the windshield is too vertical. Downside of having a really vertical windshield is this thing is a rock magnet. I've actually already got a tiny little spider crack. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's right here from the highway already. So that's kind of a bummer. I told that to one of my Jeep friends, and he was like, yeah, get used to that, because that's been a problem with Jeeps, I guess, for the longest time. This little paddle right here is for regenerative braking. So if you hit this, the truck will slow down using the motors and actually recharge the battery for you if you're not in one pedal driving, but I usually use one pedal driving. This camera here is actually looking at you to make sure that you keep your eyes on the road if you're using Super Cruise. If you look away, the seat will vibrate, it'll start to warn you, this will flash, basically getting your attention, and if you still don't pay attention and you're still asleep, basically is what it's trying to see if you're sleeping, it will actually start to slow the vehicle down and keep alerting you, keep trying to wake you up. So make sure if you use Super Cruise, you're actually paying attention to everything around you. Over here, you've got your giant infotainment system. I will not sugarcoat anything. I do have one complaint, really, and one complaint only about this system. And that is, and of course it's going to just work flawlessly for me right now, it lags a little bit. It's a little bit slow. Now, I did get a software update, and it got better, kind of a lot better right off that software update. But it is still a little tiny bit slow for me, just jumping in and out of different systems. For instance, real quick before we get into like all the stuff here, this knob, that popcorn is great, by the way. This knob, if I wanted to change mode, so let's say I turn that knob, that delay there, maybe I'm being nitpicky. That delay is just a little too much for me. I just, if I let go and I hit the X, it's just a little laggy. I could just be being really nitpicky, but that's just me. AM, FM, XM, satellite radio, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, of course, the full Google Infotainment System. So you've got the Google Assistant, the store. You can go in here and look at all your energy information. I'm already charged. There's your off-road, your trailering, your Wi-Fi. You actually can use Hulu in here. I don't have it all set up, but you should see the application. So there's your Hulu. I don't have a Hulu subscription, but you can use Hulu in here. The cameras, they are everywhere, and they're super high def. They look really good. So far, the camera that I have used the most is this one here. I always call them the Curb Hunter cameras. So the truck's just so wide. I believe it's about 6 inches wider than a Tahoe. So pulling into drive-thrus, there's some really tight ones around here. And I can get into the drive-thru, but I also don't want to just mangle the wheels. So I have used these, and it's been really great. You've got your trailer camera. You've got your 360 views. You can also see underneath the truck, so when you're four-wheeling. And you can wash the cameras as well. I ran out of washer fluid already. Oh, I guess I still have a little bit left. So if you are off-roading and you get this thing muddy, you can wash the cameras. So that's really nice. Good job, GM, thinking of that. You thought of everything. The four-wheel steering, I know I mentioned it. It's phenomenal in here. You can use this button right here. You'll see it. And it will show rear wheel steering off, rear wheel steering auto. The rear wheel steering, I thought I'd hate. I love it. It's awesome. I don't know how I ever lived with a truck without it. I can put this thing in any parking spot way better than pretty much any car. The off-road experience mode, it gives you just a whole bunch of different features. You can see here, there's a G meter. If I go here, see this lag right here? So this is like a loading. This is loading a little bit slow. Once again, these are just like some nitpicky things that I'm just, I would like it to get a little faster. All your auxiliary switches are here. The auxiliary switches you can also customize. So aux 1 will turn on my pod lights. If I wired some other stuff in there, you can do that. Once again, I'm gonna make a whole nother video going over all this kind of stuff, but there's a ton of features. You can air down right from here. The only thing that isn't cool is you can't air back up. So I am gonna buy an air compressor. I do plan on taking this thing off-road. So you can air down from in here and it'll, bring you down to the exact PSI, but you have no way to air up, which is kind of a bummer, but what can you do? Underneath this, I'm just gonna get us out of here. Actually, let me show you guys really quick before I go on, because the map looks really good. It's just huge. The map display is awesome. The Google directions have been awesome. I have no complaints whatsoever about that system. It's been great. The controls down here, I'm glad that we actually have some toggle controls, and they're like multifunction. So like my heated seat, if I press and hold this, it opens up different options. So I can put my cooled seat on or close that out. Here's my fans. So that's your climate control system. Heated steering wheel, rear locker, front locker, hazards, traction control, parking sensors, automatic parking, so like it'll parallel park itself for you, if you can't parallel park yourself. Down here you've got your wireless charger, USB, USB-C. Don't steal my Dunkin' Donuts card. Cup holders, your shifter, your mode selector here. So this little button on the right, if you press that, it actually does nothing. A little screen comes up and says, give us your ideas, your mode, your mission, epicideas@gmc.com. So they actually want people who are driving these things to send their ideas on what they want the button to do. So that's kind of cool. Now, if you want to increase or decrease your suspension, right here you can see you've got an up and a down. So if I wanted to go up, so you can see right now I'm in normal ride height. I can go up to increased ride height, or if I turn the knob and I bring this thing over to terrain mode, I'm gonna go ahead and accept. I can put this thing all the way up into extract mode. And I'll go ahead and let this thing rise up, and then I'll hop out in just a second so you guys can see how much higher it got up off the ground. Up top, we've got our programmable garage door openers. We've got our OnStar buttons, our interior lighting, our garage door openers right here, and then our video mirror, which I thought I wouldn't be a fan of, but turns out I love it. Also, this thing, which has been my favorite feature of Toyota, this button, rolls my rear window all the way down. I love that. Once again, like the open experience of this thing is just really, really cool. Love the interior. We've got the Edition badge right there. That's kind of like the quick rundown inside this thing. I do have the trailer brake controller I probably didn't mention right there. But let me jump out and I'll show you guys, because she's probably just about done lifting up. God, it's so much higher. So now if I back up, should be pretty noticeable that she's sitting a little higher. But that's it. That's the quick rundown. I know this video is probably a lot longer than I wanted it to be. I've got a ton to still learn about this truck, but I wanted to share a little bit of my experience owning it for 2 weeks. I'm going to keep it for a while. I'm going to bring you guys more content. Hopefully, I'm in Massachusetts, so places to four-wheel are kind of few and far between, but I'm definitely going to try and get this thing off-road. I got a couple friends with some Jeeps, and I'm sure they can bring me out to some trails. As always, I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you made it this far in the video, if you've liked some of my content, if you've been watching for a little while and you haven't yet subscribed, please go ahead and do so. It really helps me out in a big way. If you're in need of some GM OEM parts, check out my friends at martysparts.com for all your GM OEM parts needs. And I will see you all in the very next video. Thanks again for watching, guys. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all in the very next one. Take care.